What's up, everybody? Welcome to the P.O. Vincent podcast here on the River's Edge Online Radio Network. I'm your host, Vincent Didiano, giving you my point of view on movies. And with me once again to help me navigate the franchise that is about giant carnivorous worms is my co-host and friend, Jess.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so we've been through Tremors 1.
Uh-huh.
We've been through Tremors 2.
We have.
And now we have to get to Tremors 3 back to perfection. So this one, as the title suggests, takes us back to Perfection Valley, the setting of the first movie, and where we find Bert. He has just come back from a trip where he is attacked, or I should say, taken down some shriekers, and he's back to town. A few things have changed. We see a few old faces. We see a few new faces. But one of the old faces that we see again are the graboids and the shriekers.
Oh, yes.
And just when they think they got things handled, they have a new trick up their sleeves.
I think the correct term would be up their butt. I think they have a new trick up their butt, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so anyway, Jess, give us the trivia download on this one.
All right, so Tremors 3 came out in 2001. It stars Michael Gross as Bert. Then we have Sean Christian, who's playing Jack Sawyer. We have Ariana Richards, who's playing Mindy. And Susan Chang plays Jody Chang. These are some of the main characters. It is once again directed by Brent Maddock. Written by Brent Maddock, S.S. Wilson, Nancy Roberts, and John Welbley. Producing was S.S. Wilson and Nancy Roberts. And, this is the one that Michael Gross actually says is his favorite in the franchise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he said he had the most fun making this. So as of right now, maybe the seventh one could trump it, but we don't know that. We won't know it until October.
Won't know, yeah, because we did find out there's a seventh one on the way, which I can't remember. We mentioned this. I think we mentioned this in the last episode already. But we will be covering that when it comes out, though we'll probably be done with the franchise as is before that. So once again, just want to put that out there. We'll get around to it. By then, we'll probably be into our next franchise, which we have discussed, and we did settle on what our next franchise is going to be.
Yes.
But we are going to keep that a secret for at least a couple more episodes. But anyway, anywho, okay. So let's get into this movie. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to point out is. This one, so at this point in the franchise, probably had the lowest budget.
Yeah,
it has,
definitely.
From the lighting, the cinematography, even some of the writing. The writing isn't horrible, but it's got that TV movie feel. Even the poster, like we have the. For those watching on YouTube, you can see the poster. If for those of you listening to us on Spotify, Libsyn, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you're listening to us, I suggest. If you can, bring up the poster. If your hands are free, bring up the poster. The poster looks like a basic fan-made poster, kind of. Yeah,
it looks photoshopped.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Because you got Bert right smack in the middle of it with a big machine gun. Getting his army gear on. You have the water tower apparently exploding in the background, though it does not explode.
It does not explode in this movie.
You have some ammo boxes, next some gasoline, and then you have the safari tourist truck kind of like falling over, I guess,
kinda
in the
like
background.
Jack's truck, but it's a different color.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and the title on the poster is "The Food Chain Just Grew Another Link," which is partially true. And here's another thing: the bottom of the poster, you can see they reused the graboid tentacle snake mouth thing from the first poster. It is exactly the same one. They just
That's actually not the only thing they recycled from the first Tremors. A lot of the graboid scenes in this movie are actually recycled from the first movie.
Yeah, a lot of recycled footage. Yeah, but even on the poster, they're recycling things. So. That when, I remember seeing this when it came out, all those years ago. And, I was just excited. It was a new Tremors film, and even then I knew this was like a little less money than then. And I haven't, the previous installments. But watching it now as an adult, I was afraid of going into it's like, man, I might not like this because, I have changed. My tastes have changed. I'm a little more critical when it comes to, my enjoyment of a movie, not sour. I just like, because, now that I talk about movies all
We
the
have
time.
different standards now.
Yeah. So does this hold up? Well, let's get into it. Okay. So the movie starts out with possibly one of the most birdiest scenes.
It really does.
Can I take this one?
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
And then you can have the other one. You can
Oh,
have
yeah.
the funny goofy one later.
Oh,
you can take
yeah.
that one. Yeah. Anyway, I'll take this one. So we're in Argentina, outside of a town or city called El Chaco, if I remember correctly, El Chaco. And there's this Argentinian news team, and they're meeting Bert, and he's in full like military, like not a full uniform, but as close as a civilian can get. He's got like a red beret on his head, and he's been hired because a graboid was seen in the area, and it metamorphosed into Shriekers. Though he said it turned into 6 Shriekers, so in the last movie it was indicated that you only get about 3 Shriekers out of each graboid. So I don't know if I misheard what he said, or there was a typo, but whatever. But anyway, so he said that he purposely picked this area and led the Shriekers to this point because it was a good battle, like good place of battle to take them out. And it's basically a kind of a hilly field / plain. Yeah. But anyway, so you can start hearing the Shriekers in the background when they're singing their, which this is the movie that calls them Shriekers. In the last movie, they didn't have a name.
Right, we haven't established that until now.
So I'm glad that so I'm glad they just right off the bat, the Shriekers. In between movies, we figured out a name for them. But then he's like, and he fires off some flares so he can light up the whole plane so you can see the Shriekers coming. The Argentine news team, they're freaking out. They're running back to their vans. And then Bert hops up on his truck, pulls off a big tarp or blanket, and reveals a double-barrel anti-aircraft 50 caliber fucking belt-fed machine gun.
Oh, yeah. Right on the back of his truck.
Yeah, which I love how it's a weapon like that, because in the last movie when he was stuck in the bulldozer shovel, he was screaming about, we weren't properly prepared. We need full auto, preferably belt fed. And now he's got
now he has it.
one of the biggest belt fed weapons on the planet. He just, and it's the kind of, it's an anti-aircraft. It's the kind of thing that would have been on a B-52 back in the day, because he hops in and there isn't a traditional handle. It's and I feel like I've seen these things before, on History Channel. There's a traditional handle on. There's more of this double-sided, two-handed handle that looks like a PlayStation controller, if I'm being honest. And you don't pull the trigger; you literally push buttons on. So it's kind of like that. And he just fucking unloads and he's
just blowing up.
Yeah, they're blowing up. They're just dropping, and it's great. And Bert's got this huge smile on his face because it's they're probably the most powerful weapon.
It's just pure carnage. It's pure Bert.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just great. It's a great, fun, energetic way to start the movie.
And it definitely set him up now that he's, and this is the movie, he's the face of the franchise.
Yeah. Going forward, he will be the main character in the franchise moving forward, and good on Michael Gross, because this franchise, we are one of the reasons, because I know I'm far from the only fan that likes these movies. A lot of people out there, even if a lot of them after this point are straight to home video or TV, whatever. But
you can tell that he enjoys himself. I think that all the fans can know that he definitely enjoys every one of these movies, and I think that makes it more enjoyable when you can tell that the cast has had fun with a project. Yeah.
So birdiest moment in the movie. Possibly one of the most birdiest moments in the franchise. Just great. It's just Bert in the zone, in full control. And it's like in Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta actually has the highest power level, and he's just dominating like a boss.
Yeah.
Those moments where he's just fucking, But anyway. So then, we move forward, and it's a few days later, and we're back to perfection. Few changes. Walter Chang, who died in the first movie, his little convenience store has now been taken over by his niece, Jody, who has trying to turn perfection into a tourist attraction.
Yeah, she has puppets, graboid candy, comic books, posters, you name it.
Statues.
Your stereotypical tourist trap. That's what this has become.
Yeah, there's even a giant cutout graboid on the side that's got a minor mechanical feature where it just bops up and down. And why not? Why not? Because honestly, there's really nothing else. But despite the name, which was because of course ironic. There's really nothing special about perfection except for the fact that it was the site of pre-dinosaur creatures that showed up out of the middle of fucking nowhere. Because I guarantee you they didn't turn the oil fields of the second movie into a fucking tourist attraction.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did with that giant hole.
Oh man, wouldn't it be funny if in the second movie after the explosion it actually caused them to found a second thing of oil that they didn't know was right there?
Oops. Silver lining.
Yeah.
There you go.
But anyway, so there is mention of the second movie where Jodie brings up to Bert in conversation at some point in the movie. I think it's in this first scene there, how Earl and Grady actually did use the money they made from the Mexican government to open up a monster land. Yeah,
open up a theme park.
Yeah, it works for them. And Jodie's just trying to do the same thing. She's just trying to get on that sweet, sweet graboid action.
Just all that money.
Yeah, but then Bert reveals that we have. Let's talk about Nancy and Mindy, the mom and daughter duo of the first film. They are still played by the same actors. And we even have Miguel's actor. He's returned. And let me go over it. Like you already mentioned, Ariana Richards, who plays Mindy.
Yep.
Charlotte Stewart is Nancy. And I'm going to screw up the actor who plays Miguel. Tony Gennaro. I hope I'm getting that name right.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
I feel like I'm pronouncing it right, but I feel like, I don't know. I'm always wary. And I'm very, because my name is so super Italian that people screw it up all the time. So I'm a little, I always want to try to get out.
Wary of screwing up someone's last name. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, we have a lot of familiar faces coming back to perfection.
Yeah.
We find out Mindy is there. She was off at college. Bert asks her about it when he sees her, and here her mom and her couldn't afford it anymore, so she came back home.
Yeah, so everyone's coming back to perfection one way or another.
Nice homecoming for everyone.
Yeah, nice little homecoming, but yeah. So yeah, it's nice to see the old characters. I mean, obviously that's one of the things about this movie that does work. I mean, we discussed like once again the lower budget does hurt it, and we'll go through the movie and talk about that. But it's nice to see that they got as much of the old cast as they could come back. And it makes sense. And except for like Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, but both of their characters have reasons for why they don't live there anymore. Fred Ward got the amusement park. Or I should Earl did, and Val married Rhonda.
Yeah, Val's off somewhere with Rhonda. Yeah. Maybe her hometown. Who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, some of the other new characters besides Jodie, who we also have Desert Jack Sawyer.
Oh yeah.
Jess, do you want to talk about Desert Jack Sawyer and what his deal is?
So Jack has come to perfection to also cash in on the graboid fan base, I guess is what you would call them. the people who follow
the tourists.
Bert, the tourists, people who follow Bert in the magazine, people who are really obsessed with these creatures. And so Jack has come to perfection, and he's running a fake safari-esque ride, truck ride.
Okay, he's got like an old kind of Jeep-like thing. We put seats in the back.
Yeah, it's like an old Jeep with no top. And he sticks a bunch of tourists in it, and he masquerades a graboid attack. So he has like a video that he shows them while they're out there. He pretends that the truck is stalled, and then he has this sidekick who takes like a glorified leaf blower of some sort.
It's a fire extinguisher canister, but instead of filling with anti-fire chemical foam, it's filled with dirt, which that is actually a thing I've seen in behind the scenes for other movies. That they'll use canisters like that, fill it with like it's an alien movie, they'll fill it with slime. If it's a horror movie, they'll fill it with blood.
It's very much an homage to how actual side effects work in a film.
Did you say side effects?
Side effects.
Special effects.
Wow, special effects. Side effects.
That's staying
may vary.
That is staying in.
May vary. Sometimes your side effects involve dust coming out of a fire extinguisher. Yeah. Sometimes they involve at one point his sidekick is pulling the fence planks down, so it looks like the graboid is crawling along the fence post, like in the first movie. So yeah, definitely an homage to special effects. It's a really funny scene. Eventually, he puts the truck back into drive, and they get away safely just in time, just as this graboid's gaining on them. And then he drives everyone back to where Jodie's shop is for some pictures and picture opportunities, and that's where Jack runs into Bert, who is not very happy with what Jack is doing at all.
Bert likes his town the way it is.
He likes privacy at home.
It was privacy, very, very, very small population. Yeah, he's not into that. Bert has never been the most social of people. Unless he already knows you, he doesn't want to know you. But yeah, no. So yeah, Bert's totally against this thing. I mean, and then we see what's the name of is it Buford?
I think
Buford. I want to say it was there we go, Buford. Jack's assistant, the guy that's behind the scenes below. He's a tool. I think
kind
it's
of a creep.
Yeah, because we see him checking out Mindy's ass at one point.
Yeah.
You know.
I would assume this guy's in his like late 20s, early 30s. Mindy's 20 tops.
Yeah,
20 or 21.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going. I think that yes, like 2019. Like I think Ariana Richards was around that age at the time because she was definitely she was in her very early 20s, so she was actually college aged, maybe a year more than what the actual character is, but still, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, and like the guy, he just comes up
cringeworthy.
Yeah, like I mean, Jack's not very noble himself doing the fake graboid attack thing for his tourist ride, but at least he's not slobbering over somebody
a con
that's
man. He's not a creep.
Yeah. He's an honest crook.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there ever was one.
Yes.
Jack Sawyer.
Yeah. He gives you the adventure. He just doesn't tell you it's a real adventure. He promised adventure. He gives you one. But anyway, so Buford's creepiness will come into play later. But so they go back. Bert's like just going back to his house, which is now like completely underground at this point.
Yeah,
almost.
it's very much.
There's a little bit
of
bunker. Yeah, it's a bunker. He's got a graboid wall under the ground built around his house, made of like concrete, which is nice. It's callback to the first movie in a way where when Val and Earl are running from the graboid after they see it for the first time, and it slams into that aqueduct wall.
Yeah, that concrete wall.
Yeah, so yeah, it's nice that they're reusing things from the last movie, previous films. But this is a Tremors movie, so despite the fact that everyone's like, they haven't shown up in 11 years.
It's been so long.
There can't be any more.
It's been long enough.
Everyone thinks Bert's paranoid and crazy, which he is. But this is the universe of Tremors, and Bert is always right.
This is the movie where he's definitely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And that goes into play into the Tremors TV series, which I found out. I didn't realize this, but for those of you who are Tremors fans and you don't know, the entire 13 episode series, because they only got to one season, is on the Tremors YouTube channel. They have a Tremors YouTube channel.
Interesting.
Yeah, and all 13 episodes are on there. I've been going through them, haven't gone through all of them yet. But yeah, it's all on there. So if you haven't seen it since it was on Sci-Fi Channel, or you didn't know it was around, go on to YouTube, go
this
to
is your chance.
Tremors. It's all on there. Look out for the episodes, because at first you probably see the clips. They do clips of the show, but they have full episodes on there.
Cool.
And the recurring theme in every episode is Bert is right. No matter what the fuck's going on in that show, Bert is right.
So this film definitely sets that up.
Oh, totally.
Nice.
Every time something's going on, they're like, and people are like, Bert, calm down. And Bert's like, no, we gotta kill it. And I'm like, wait, Bert. And like, no, Bert's just always
Bert's
right. When you live in the world of graboids, just listen to Bert.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know Bert, find a nearby Bert, and whatever he says is probably
Someone
right.
close to Bert.
Yeah, which is god. Anyway, anywho, so a graboid does finally show up. A few graboids, in fact, and one. While Jack's out doing his fake safari thing, Mindy has joined Buford because she's bored because there's nobody else in Perfection that's near her age. Jack and Buford are
the closest.
Except for maybe Jody, but Jody's like busy running the shop, so she's just hanging out just because this is as close as she can get to Jack while he's doing his tourist thing. But she's with Buford, and Buford's just giving like Mindy the creepy eye, and he's got like this.
Yeah, it's he's being real weird.
Yeah, and he's got like this hunting knife with him, and he's just like he's throwing it on the ground, like point down, like he's like picks it up, and he's like on like some styrofoam or something. And it's a creepy, and he's like, at one point he's like, you don't like my company, do you? He picks the knife up, just keeps throwing it down. And he's making noise, and then boom! A fucking graboid grabs him, brings him down. Mindy
Being
freaks.
a creep comes and bites him in the ass quite literally here.
Yeah, bite him in the ass, the back, the left arm, the head, just all the parts. Oh my god!
Don't be a creep.
Yeah.
So this is what happens.
So the funny thing, yeah, you knew the guy was gonna get taken out, whether it was gonna be sooner or later. You know,
you knew.
They just get it out of the way. Just
they
let the
set
creep
it up
die.
real well.
The funny thing is, so he gets dragged down the ground, but then the graboid pops up right next to the safari trunk, and truck. That's staying in. Anyway, and then you see his legs dangling out the fucking top, and at first Jack's gonna run over and try to pull them out of the graboid, but Mindy's like, no, stop, don't. And there's a real shining moment from Mindy. She's smart. She's like doing her thing.
She remembers.
She saves them.
As a kid.
Yeah, she fucking saves them.
You don't want to make a lot of noise. You got to be quiet.
So they create a distraction where Jack throws something off his keychain to the ground. Graboids after that. They run up onto a nearby rock next to the Jeep, and everyone's like freak out. And the one like dorky dweeby tourist guy who's complaining about, was that a real graboid?
I love it. And he's taking photos.
Is he
like,
dead?
The whole time, just like, what the hell?
Yeah, he goes to grab. He goes
like someone has just died, and this man is like, like,
yeah. He's got
that'd probably be me.
He's such a.
There's one of us out there that would absolutely be doing.
And then I'd be like, and I'd grab you and be like, get the fuck over here!
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, shh, and quiet. So and then Mindy once again is like, okay, let's grab whatever you got. So they grab like some of the drinks that Jack would sell the people, bottles of water, beer, fruit juice, and they start throwing it in one direction, and it's kind of working. And Jack throws the asshole tourist's camera, and I guess he hit it on like. They hit the shutter because it keeps going, and that distracts the graboid and runs off. They get in the Jeep. They drive back to perfection, and then the tourist guy is complaining like, "You lost my camera!" And he's like, "Motherfucker, you survived the graboid attack. I
just saved your life. What the hell?"
Yeah. I kind of wanted him to get eaten. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted the graboid to show up real quick, grab his ass.
I know it's kind of a shame that tourist doesn't get eaten. But.
Yeah, it would have been really funny, like if he was like there on the tour by himself, and he's driving back down the road, and he's like, "I'm so angry." He gets out to take a piss, and the graboid just comes on and gets him. Maybe
that would be great.
The snack. Oh, I'm just.
Oops.
The snake just gets him.
Oops.
On the dick.
You get what you deserve.
Yeah. That would have been great. That probably would have been too much. That probably been a little too lowbrow. I don't know.
I was gonna say this is a PG rating. I don't know if they can eat someone's dick off.
I'm not saying you have to see. You just have to.
You just have to know.
The camera angle suggests us going for the dick.
It's one of those jokes that only the adults get.
Yeah.
And you get when you're older.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah. If you're watching as a kid, your parents are like, "Where did he bite him, mommy? Daddy, where did he bite him?" It's like, "Oh, it bit him on the belly button. Your belly button is very, very sensitive.
It was just very low.
Very sensitive. Yeah.
Weird.
Some people have low belly buttons. Yeah.
So they have returned to perfection, and now we have the issue of several graboids in the area, and we return to a method of killing graboids that we're very familiar with.
Yes.
Where we take dynamite and a toy car and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Until the government decides to show up and fuck with Bert's plans.
Yes. We literally have members of like what were they like? I can't remember what organization.
I don't know. My assumption
Agents
is they're
of the
kind
Interior?
of like the Environmental Protection Agency, because they come and they're concerned because at this point graboids are now an endangered species. They're a protected species, and I think that would fall under EPA.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think they do say where they're from. I just can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember too. They're not big.
But they are government officials, and they end up taking away Bert's hunting license so that he cannot kill any more graboids.
Yeah, which is not something you want to do with Bert. You can't.
No,
don't tell Bert Gummer what he can and cannot shoot. It kind of boils his blood.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're telling him like, oh, you can't be doing this shit. But they tell him if by the way, if we're here to capture one of the graboids to take it for studying, and
Bert's like, that's stupid.
Yeah. And
how are you gonna do that?
Like that, they couldn't do it in the fucking last one. But then they thought, oh, by the way, if we can't accomplish our mission, then you all have to move.
Mm-hmm. This is right around the time where it gets real that Bert is right. And I think Miguel says it. He's like, I used to think you were crazy, but here they are trying to take our land, just like you said.
Yeah, because they said they're going to use eminent domain to take it away from them, and that's something that Bert mentions in the first movie about government people coming in here.
I told you guys.
Yeah, Bert's always right. Whenever it seems like Bert could be wrong, the universe shifts and
Bert
alters
is
itself.
suddenly right.
Yeah. But no. So Bert's pissed. He goes back to his place. The government guys go out in the desert, and apparently they do not do very well trying to get the graboid. They come back to Jody's market, and Desert Jack has an idea, makes a deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
That, let me and Bert capture the graboid for you, and let us do it, because Bert, nobody knows graboids like Bert does. Let him do it. And if so, make a deal so, we don't have to risk, eminent domain bullshit.
Yeah, we'll capture you one, but we really do need to take care of the other one so that nobody else gets hurt.
Yeah, and Bert does not like this, but it's the best they got. So they take this sedative for like animals that they were to use on the graboid. Mm-hmm. They were to put it in a giant gun with like a giant dart.
Yeah. Which
makes me think of that scene from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid when they were going to shoot the big baby with like the giant tranquilizer cannon out the helicopter. We're crossing franchises, people. We're crossing franchises. Mm-hmm. But Bert's like, you fucking idiots, wasting the taxpayers' money. Mm-hmm. It's like, because they're talking about, we need a special gun with a special dart. It's made of special metal. It's going to cost a fuck ton of money. And Bert's like, I could take your dart, strap it to this remote control car that costs $49.95 and get a fucking graboid.
The cheap and efficient way.
Yeah. They're looking for the overly complicated way of doing it, which sometimes simple is better. It just keep it simple.
This is definitely one of those instances where you would think simple is better.
Yeah, I gotta do it on the graboid while it's dumb before these things get smart. So anyway, Bert and Jack's now his partner because he made the deal with the government agent guys. They go out into the desert to try to capture a graboid. And Jess, who shows up in the middle of the desert?
Jody?
No.
Oh, El Blanco?
No. Well, yes, but who shows up? Another old character. He's only in the movie for like 5 total minutes.
Oh, that little bratty kid.
Melvin. The asshole teenage boy from the first movie.
He's now no longer a teenage boy. He is an adult. And he has gotten himself into real estate.
Yeah.
So he comes along and he wants to buy perfection and build tourist condos of some sort.
Yeah, he's done it.
He wants to profit off of the fact this is now a tourist area and put in like vacation homes for people, which is in the middle of a graboid attack. You really want to make this a vacation spot, but okay.
Yeah. Well, he's not aware of it at first. He does not aware that new graboids have appeared. That's right. Yeah, because Melvin, apparently he's done well for himself. He has other properties, apparently some back in Bixby. He all over the place. Like he's like racking up the land and turning it in. And perfection is just this big, wide open valley that if he gets it, he could turn this into a huge, bustling town and city. Yeah. That's his grand plan, of course. But and he's been trying to buy out everybody in perfection, but so far everyone's been telling him no. But he's been putting up signs. He's been talking to people. But then, yes, a graboid comes up, a graboid that will eventually be referred to as El Blanco because it's albino graboid.
It is an homage to Moby Dick, by the way. It was on purpose. It was big and
it was
white.
on purpose. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was absolutely on purpose because it is the largest as well.
Funny enough, in one of the episodes of Graboid the series, somebody does tell Bert El Blanco is your great white whale. It calls him Moby Dick. It's a reference even brought up in the show by Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd shows up as a character in a couple episodes of the TV series. Yeah, he's really cool.
Crossover.
Yeah, it's always good to see. But anyway, so yeah, tell him about this is one of the funnest scenes in the movie. This is the other fun Bert scene. I'm gonna give it to you since I got
great.
So I got the opener.
Shows up.
Yeah.
And somehow Bert sadly winds up eaten by this graboid. And we think that all is lost. Yeah. Jack is there kind of like, what the fuck? am I supposed to do now that Bert is gone? And then his cell phone starts to ring. And it's Bert. Bert is calling Jack from inside the graboid.
Yeah, because he's inside the barrel.
Yeah, he crawled inside this barrel, and that's what kept him safe, but he's now stuck inside this creature with no way of getting out. So Jack has to help him get out of this graboid. I think, do they get it to eat a little bit of dynamite, don't they? Or does he
he slams it into the house's wall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They get it to slam into the house's wall, and Jack comes running after it with a shovel and some other chainsaw implement.
When a guy sees a chainsaw in a movie, the guy does not forget.
That's true.
All right.
I don't think I can think of an action movie where the chainsaw gets left behind.
Well.
So Jack comes running and starts digging and finds the graboid and then takes the chainsaw and starts cutting it into pieces. Jody comes running over like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the hell is going on? And he finally finds Bert inside of this worm, and Bert comes crawling out, covered in goop, and is basically just like, let's never speak about this again. Nobody is to speak of this.
And he even puts on his shades.
He puts his shades on, which are also covered in shit. And it just makes this moment. Like, he's completely just covered in goop. But he is alive. Yeah. And that is what matters. He has survived this ordeal of being eaten. It's very Jonah and the whale.
Yeah. Somewhere out there on some blog is a Tremors fanfic where Bert was eaten, but Jack did not free him. Bert was just so awesome. He fucking burst through the graboid with his bare fucking hands. It was like,
tears it to pieces.
Patton's spirit is within me.
I can see him trying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh shit. Anyway. So yeah, that's a great scene because it's like, I mean, unless I'm forgetting something in the following films, I think Bert's the only person who's ever been swallowed whole by a graboid and survived. We have a few people who get the graboid comes at them. Maybe the snake thing gets at them a bit, but not. They don't. But making it back is a whole other deal. So the movie continues. So technically, they've killed one graboid.
They have killed one graboid.
But we have a few more. We have El Blanco, the white graboid.
Our toughest foe in this one.
Yes, who keeps coming at Bert through various points in the movie, and they don't figure out towards the end why. There is a reason why that is fixated on Bert. But there's another one, and unfortunately, we find out that it got the government guys.
Sadly.
Yeah.
You kind of get the feeling when the government guys show up that they're not going to make it out of this. So it's not that surprising when it happens.
Yeah. Which I'll be honest, I'm not sure if the government characters were even really necessary in the movie. The only thing they really add to the story, like either which way, Bert's going to go out there and hunt the graboids, right?
Yeah.
Only thing that they really add is the one government guy who's like the scientist of the three of them. He finds a graboid egg and confirms that they come from eggs. We're finding
more of an origin story or a life cycle rather of these creatures. They start from an egg.
Yeah, because all we know is like the graboids turn to shriekers. But okay, what came first, the graboid or the shrieker? Now we know there's an egg involved. So at some point, something lays a fucking egg. We'll get to that. But yeah, the government guys, I think you could have taken them out of the story and just worked around it,
you could have.
Yeah, they're not really except for establishing the egg thing. They really don't play much of a role.
I think maybe establishing the how expensive one of these would go for, maybe because that does come up later. So the idea of catching one of these.
Oh well, no, they do serve another purpose. Whereas like the endangered species things come up, which is very important for the very end of the film. But anyway, so I'm sorry. I guess just because their characters are so just they're just there. Anyway, so now Jody and Miguel are joining Jack and Bert on the graboid hunt. So we got 4 people out there that go on graboid hunts, and they've realized that except for El Blanco, the other one has turned into shriekers.
Yes.
So they hunt the shriekers down. Everyone's got a gun ready to go. Bert throws a bomb, a grenade, like the same kind of like dynamite sticks, homemade ones from the first movie.
Yeah.
So another little callback.
We have a lot of callbacks to the first film and some of the things that he got ready.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I love that. I love the one, a franchise acknowledges its past. That was something that was brought up in one of the more recent Scream movies. Don't shit on the older movies.
Oh, no.
This
they established the later films. You can't have later films without the first ones.
So they think at first it looks like, oh, did we blow
got
up?
them all, right?
Yeah, no. They're like no body parts around, but then they see that there's like these skins or husks everywhere.
And it looks like they've molted.
So something's going on with the Shriekers.
Something's happened with the Shriekers now. They got another trick up their ass.
So speaking of, then we get to the point where we see the new
metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, that's what we can call it.
They see what basically at first looks like a kind of like a more slimmer Shrieker with like
a smaller version of a Shrieker with wings. Now gliders. I think it's more of it makes me think of those dragons with the necks that pop up. That's kind of what it looks like. Kind of like a bearded dragon.
Oh, okay, cool. I can roll with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they got that going on, and Jess, how do they take off?
Oh,
do they flap their wings?
They do not flap their wings.
How do they take off, Jess?
Tell
the people.
These brace yourselves. I hope you're all sitting down. So these creatures fly by propelling themselves with their own flatulence. They literally blow fire out of their ass.
Yeah.
And it propels them through the air, and they use their wings to glide around while this fire comes out of their ass. It's really something. Really quite the design here. Like A+ for the design team for designing these creatures.
It reminds me of in the movie, which I haven't watched in years, Reign of Fire, which is a dragon movie.
It is, yes.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, in that movie, they describe how the dragons breathe fire. That it's like there's liquids in that their bodies produce that can catch flame, and then they blow.
Uh-huh.
So the ass blasters are kind of the same. I'm wondering if Reign of Fire came out first, and they took the idea from Reign of Fire. Probably not.
Maybe it's a reference.
I don't know.
Were dragon films very popular in the the late 90s?
Well, Reign of Fire bombed hard.
Okay, never mind.
But anyway.
Obviously, this is before How to Train Your Dragon. So.
Oh yeah. Got lost. Anyway, but unfortunately, we have some sad things going on here. One of the original characters from the first movie, Miguel, is taken out by he's knocked over by the ass blaster as it's falling, and he falls over the small cliff, and he passes away. And it's a sad moment. Not that Miguel was one of the most important characters, but because he's one of the characters from the original films.
It's just sad.
Yeah, the fact that he survived back then, but now that these things finally got him, it's a little sad, so it's unfortunate. But now we got a whole new other thing, because now these ass blasters, because they can fly, they can cover the Perfection Valley much more quickly.
Mm-hmm. They're a bigger threat now.
Yeah, they try to warn Nancy and Mindy, who are on the roof of the Chang Market, but an ass blaster comes down on top of them, and they got to run inside, and the ass blaster's following them, breaks through their front door.
We forgot.
What?
It is Jody, by the way, who establishes that we are calling these creatures ass blasters.
Yes.
After they kill the first one that they find, they're walking across the desert with a mattress on their back because they have realized that the ass blasters also see with heat the way that the Shriekers do. So they're hiding under this mattress, and she's trying to come up with a name, and she's saying all kinds of really funny names, and then settles on ass blasters, and that is what they end up called, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So.
Once again, a Chang names the creatures, but unfortunately this time, small spoiler, Jody does not get killed, so Chang does not get eaten shortly after naming the fucking things.
Very true.
So we've beat that curse, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we beat that curse.
Okay. But anyway, so they're walking away. They got the mattress over their head, so their key signatures are blocked by the ass blaster flying above.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God none of them just landed on the ground and were just like, huh? Hey, guys, so down here, they're under the big square thing. You know, none of them fucking do that because they can talk. Oh, we didn't mention that. No, I'm just kidding. They can't talk. That would be hilarious.
That would be really funny.
Like, hey, if you guys could not run away, because I'm really hungry. They're really.
Like,
Hey, where you going?
Hey,
Where you go? I can fucking see you with my weird heat sensing gland.
Brain thing.
Yeah. So they get to Bert's house, and unfortunately, the ass blasters track them there. Nancy and Mindy are dealing with the ass blaster that are in Chang's market, which they distract by heating up some deli ham, throwing it in the microwave, and they hide in the freezer, and while the ass blaster eats all the food in the store. But then they're at Bert's place, and the ass blasters are breaking in.
Oh yeah.
So they go into Bert's panic room, which he's got the MREs from the second movie, the foil sealed shit food.
Dehydrated shit.
Dehydrated shit. But unfortunately, the ass blasters not only use their blastic asses to blast off, they use them to blast through things as they start to use it to melt the door to the panic room.
These are, smarter creatures. Every time they metamorphosize, they're just a little bit smarter, a little bit smaller too. I was gonna say.
Their brains got to be pretty small at this point. So I don't know if that works out or not, but not a biologist.
That blast and ass just comes in handy.
So Bert has ideas like that has an escape hatch, like a slide that slides down to the bottom of the hill.
His escape room is fully functioning with an escape hatch.
Yes.
Just in case the escape room is not safe.
But before they go down, was it Jody who says it? Like, asks them, what if they get into your food?
Yeah.
Jody brings up because the Shriekers, when they eat, they fucking multiply. And as far as as far as we know, these ass blasters are just flying
they're
Shriekers.
Making this assumption that the ass blasters are going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. So Bert puts a canister of diesel fuel by the door. They go down the escape hatch, slide down to the bottom of the hill, and the ass blaster, as he's melting through the door, sets fire to diesel, explodes. Bert's whole house goes up. Unfortunately for Bert, his whole house goes up.
Poor Bert.
Yeah, poor Bert.
Has to be so heartbroken.
Yeah, because he put a lot into that place.
He really did.
Mostly guns, but
oh my God! Think of all the money in guns alone.
It's got to be tens of thousands of dollars.
Probably.
But anyway, so then they hear back from Nancy and Mindy, who've captured the ass blaster that attacked them, and they're like, how did you guys do that? And they're like, you just feed them. If you feed them enough food, they go into a food coma. And Bert's
they actually fall asleep.
Yeah, and Bert's like, no, they multiply.
Oh, yeah, this just adds insult to injury.
Yeah. It's like,
his
no.
poor house.
Yeah. And it's like, and then Bert just kind of like loses all energy. He's like a sad dog.
I feel bad for Bert in this moment. Like he just R.I.P. house.
Anyway, but they don't have time to dilly dally because there's a bunch of let's fucking say dilly dally anyway. We don't got time to dilly dally.
Don't dilly dally, monsters.
They got some dilly dally and ass blasters just hovering above. And they gotta move, so they jump, and Jack sees they jump into a boat that's on wheels for like a truck hitch, and they put a tarp over themselves, and they ride the boat down the hill to a junkyard.
Yeah, where they try to hide.
Yeah, and they get to a junkyard, and they get in a porta potty, and they only have a few minutes because Bert's like, it's just plastic. This thing's made of plastic. We're going to heat it up in like a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be able to see.
But they've got at least, 4 ass blasters hovering around. So they're like, it's Jack who comes up with the idea to make a potato gun. Like a lethal potato gun.
A lethal potato gun.
Yeah. They just need to find some kind of pipe or tubing. They need to find something arrow-like. And they need to find something flammable, an ignition source. So they start scrambling, and they must have been going around this place for a while because it's nighttime by the time they assemble the potato gun.
Yeah, it's a little interesting that they're able to go around without getting seen. But you know what? I appreciate the ingenuity of them MacGyvering this weapon.
Yeah, no, they and if you watch the series, they MacGyver every fucking episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is always part of the Tremors, like planning. They even mentioned at the beginning of the movie, Jody brings up, you need to have a plan, Bert. We need to have a plan if we're going to keep perfection going. And And at the end of the movie, they come up with a fucking plan. So they get some metal like piping or something like that. They get a garden hose handle that's like kind of like a liquid release valve thing, and Bert gets some I don't know, what is it, whiskey or brandy or something, or
it's some sort of alcohol.
Yeah.
I think it's brandy. It's definitely a brown booze.
And he gets it from Nestor's old trailer. Nestor, the guy who was killed in the first movie, his trailer ended up in this junkyard, and Bert knew where he hid it in his trailer, so he grabbed that. So another callback to the original film.
Yeah.
Another thing to like about it. And they assemble the potato gun, and they get some old like fence rods as to use as arrows. They load it in, light the end of it, and shoot at the fucking ass blaster, and it explodes because the fire ignites the liquid inside of them. So yeah. I'm sure after Bert survives. Spoiler: Bert survives.
I mean, I feel like we already spoiled that. We told you guys he's the face of the.
If I were Bert, I would get one of those incendiary rounds I've heard about, where they put like a little bit of sulfur at the end of the bullet to make it glow as it goes through the air.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like something Bert would really enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know if they had it back then or that was just something I saw in a movie a few years ago.
He would definitely have them now.
Yeah, he doesn't really get his hands on it, but yeah. So they take out one graboid, take out another, but then another one smashes through into the trailer they're hiding in stuff, comes at them. Jack's got to grab it by his fucking gnarly beak and hold it back as they're trying to. And then Bert takes some cannon fuse, once again, another callback to film, wraps it around the last arrow, lights the cannon fuse, stabs the fucking ass blaster. They go and scramble into one of the other rooms in the trailer, and it explodes, and which... One of the other ones they killed exploded, blew a hole in the trailer, but somehow this inner wall in the trailer doesn't explode.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
But,
you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. So we've been having fun in the movie, so you can forgive some things,
Yeah.
But they think they're fine, and then El Blanco shows up, the Great White Graboid, and they finally realize what the problem is. Oh, Bert got this watch from the Argentinian government that has like a supersonic signal, so it can always has the exact correct time, no matter where Bert is on the planet. And El Blanco's been zeroing in on it because it's a signal that only El Blanco or other animals with sensitive hearing can hear. But then now it's not just an issue of El Blanco's back. Now there's one more ass blaster left that they thought they killed earlier, but no, they just knocked it unconscious.
It was asleep.
Yeah.
This is a callback to the second film, thinking that the Shrieker was dead when it was just caught up underneath the truck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good catch. I didn't even think of it like that. Nice. So anyway, Jack takes some duct tape off his pants that Mindy put on his pants because he asked her to sew them back up, but she just duct taped them.
Her mom's like, didn't he want you to sew those up? It's fashionable.
Yeah.
And I think at that time it was fashionable to duct tape your pants.
Oh, was it?
I mean, this is 2001. I had some real weird fashion choices at that age.
Okay, I've never been the most fashionable person, so I will take your word on it.
I'm pretty sure Jody actually makes a comment that she was really into safety pins. That was definitely a fashion statement when I was growing up.
I remember the safety pins. That I remember.
Yeah.
I remember I had a friend who had instead of earrings, they just put safety pins through the fucking ear.
I did that for a little bit. Sorry, Mom.
But anyway, so Jack takes the duct tape, rolls it up into a ball, sticks the sonic watch on there, chucks it, nails it, and sticks right to the ass blaster. Then El Blanco comes up and eats the ass blaster. So I guess they can't recognize their own species after a certain point.
That they can.
Because it's like you see it like El Blanco kind of chewing on it, and the ass blaster's like like. So it's not like it was like a quick thing. It was just, I don't know, maybe it's
it's food, so I'm eating it.
Yep. Which makes me wonder, like back in like pre-dinosaur times when these things were more dominant and all over the place, were graboids accidentally eating shriekers just left and right? Like, it makes me think.
Is that technically cannibalism? I don't know.
Yeah. Is it cannibalism if a caterpillar eats a butterfly?
Or vice versa? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
I don't know. So many questions. I don't know where to go. Anyway.
Is life real? What?
Oh my God. Anyway. But so they defeated the last of the monsters. They go back to perfection. Everything's kind of calmed down. Jack and Jody have had this like little romantic thing going between them the whole movie. It's not that interesting. It's nice.
But they get together.
Yeah, they get together. Jack, he got a job in Bixby or something, and him and Jody, he takes Jody for a ride in his truck one last time before he leaves
How
town.
romantic.
Yeah, so they have a little, Jody gets a little more than just having to work 24/7. And then Melvin approaches Bert again, who's dealing with El Blanco, and Melvin's like, "I thought you killed all those things," and he's like, "Nope, El Blanco, we didn't kill him. In fact, we're going to keep him around. We've developed we're using seismographs and watches."
They're going to keep it protected.
Yeah, because he's an endangered species, which means, Melvin, you can't build your condos here as long as it's endangered species.
No eminent domain and no condos. Sorry, Melvin.
Boom, bitch.
No one's really sorry that Melvin
sorry.
doesn't get a happy ending. He was always a jerk.
No, yeah.
He gets what he deserves.
Indeed. I think that's come back in the TV series in at least one episode.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because he's still after that sweet, sweet, deserty, horrible-looking land.
Why would you...
I don't know. Maybe things are different out in Arizona, but but perfection kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
Especially with all those graboids. Like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of homeowner's insurance do you need to cover for that issue?
I don't even get it.
It's weird.
But anyway, so yeah, the movie ends there. So now the question is, what do we overall think of this movie? Jess, do you want to go first? Or you want me to take it?
I'll go first.
Okay.
As far as this film is concerned, the CGI is pretty rough.
Yes, that's something we didn't bring up. But CGI is really rough.
Some of the CGI is just very badly done. It's very obvious early 2000s CGI. If you have watched any movie from that era, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's almost an overuse of CGI when the technology came out. But at the same time, I think that this is one of the more fun stories with this franchise. It's not too serious. We don't get too much into the origin story of these creatures. It's not very scientific. It's more action-packed and reestablishing a lot of characters, especially Bert. I feel like this movie reestablishes Bert and puts him in a position to carry the franchise from this point on, because he does. Or at least Michael Gross does as an actor. The fourth film gets a little weird, but it is Michael Gross starring in it. So I really like the way that this movie sets Bert up. And I'm interested to see Bert going forward, because I have a feeling that he's just going to get a little nuttier and nuttier and nuttier, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think he's going to be driven a little crazier each chapter of this franchise.
And who can blame him? Him?
I don't think anybody could blame him. You're running for your life that many times. You're going to go a little batshit crazy.
Because that's something comes up in the TV series. People give him shit all the time for the way he is. It's like, how do you guys not understand why he is the way he is? Like, if I think,
I mean, not just that, but then you have to think, like, this man's wife left him. Here he was right. So, like, that has to burn his ass a lot. Oh, yeah. I feel like I would be pretty pissed at Heather in his shoes. Yeah. Like, you wonder if he drunkenly calls her to leave really, really sad voicemails. Like, I told you these graboids. Like, I was right.
Send me the gun back. Send me the gun back.
Send me my gun back.
I just blew up all my guns.
Do you think she got the elephant gun in the divorce? Like, what guns do you think she got?
Oh, God, no, please. Not that big, beautiful stick of destruction.
Oh, I feel like that's what she got.
What
about you, though?
Well, the lower budget on the film is a problem. You can tell just in just many ways. Like I said, the special effects are like, the CGI is really rough. Like it's like a TV movie level, so it's not that impressive. Like there's sometimes when like the El Blanco looks horrible. The hole he comes out looks horrible. Whenever the ass blasters are walking on ground, it doesn't look like their feet are actually interacting with the soil.
Yeah, it's just obviously fake.
But Michael Gross is once again great as Bert. There's a lot of fun moments in this movie. So it is very enjoyable. All the callbacks to the first film, all the returning characters, and the actual actors. And it's all the actors, all the characters from Perfection that survived the first film are back, and they got all the original actors, which is nice, because that doesn't carry over into the TV series, even though it's set in Perfection. They have to get new actors to play those characters. But the script isn't perfect, but honestly, as a Tremors fan, it's a really enjoyable film. So I obviously, unless you're a fan of this series, this movie's gonna not be your thing.
Right.
But it's enjoyable. It definitely could be better, but and it introduces the ass blasters, which is kind of like, because that's becoming, that's become a theme so far. Every
it's
movie
comical, but also, if these things were flying at you, I don't think you'd find it very fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty terrifying.
No. The gore factor is just almost non-existent.
Yeah,
like, except for
there's not
seeing
really.
the monsters explode in their guts. So it's really like any human carnage is. You'll see the like I said, the legs dangling out the mouth of the graboid,
PG.
but there's no. We see human blood one time. One of the government guy, he gets it, but it's like you can't even really see the wound. You just see the blood coming off his back.
Yeah.
So I think that hurts a little bit, but it's still a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. I wouldn't say I hate it. I wouldn't say that.
No.
But I still think it's a decent entry into this franchise. And I hope I can say that moving forward into the next installments.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
You'll have to hang out with us again to find out.
Yeah. And all I'll say left is, remember, I've been watching the TV series. This TV series, it's fun for a TV series.
Yeah.
I do if you're nostalgic and right now you're cooped up in your house and you want to watch some Tremor stuff, watch the TV series on the YouTube channel. Because it's not just graboids that came up with a new element for them to fight beyond the graboids in the TV series. That comes in.
Like, you mean beyond the ass blasters?
Beyond the ass blasters.
Oh, okay.
It's not related to them. And it's revealed, and it starts in the episode where Christopher Lloyd first shows up.
Okay. I like that Christopher Lloyd is in it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you're watching the series, outside of the YouTube channel, be careful because on IMDb the episode list is in the wrong order.
Huh.
Which I think is because I remember watching it back in the day, and the first time I saw Christopher Lloyd in the episode, they acted like they all knew him already, and I was like, I've never seen this guy before. So I think the reason why IMDb is like that, I think when it originally aired, the episodes might have been out of order.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Sometimes that happens.
I could be remembering it wrong, but on the YouTube channel, everything seems to be in order because nothing is revealed that's like a surprise or anything. But anyway, Tremors 3, back to perfection. Not, it's got its flaws. Definitely, it's got some flaws there, but it's still fun. As a Tremors film, it's fun. But anyway, I think that's it for this episode. Had another fun time talking about this stuff. If you guys want to listen to more episodes, please follow us. We're on the Libsyn feed. We are on, and through there you can find links to our Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher pages. You can also follow links to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all on there. And also, if you want to support this show, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/POVincent. If you can't support the show monetarily, we are beyond appreciated. If you can't, hey, just following, subscribing, wherever you're listening or watching to us would be a great help. We're going to keep on talking about movies, and we got 3 more to go through before we finish this section off. But I think that's it for everything. Jess, thanks again for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Always a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, and thank you for looking at things from our point of view.
Yeah.
Take it easy.